Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing good. If you are new to my YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure to like the live stream. You can also join my Discord server. The link you can find in the description of this video. And if you are not following me over Twitter, 𝗟R𝘁𝗶𝗵𝘁𝘀, this is my Twitter handle. I occasionally share trading calls and I regularly share, by the way, updates over my Twitter account. So yeah, please make sure that you are following 𝗟R𝘁𝗶𝗵𝘁𝗀 on Twitter. And if you would like to receive more organized calls and updates, you can always join the Discord server. Once again, the link you can find in the description of this video. And please make sure to like the live stream. All right, so let's start. And before I start talking about, Bitcoin and, the rest of the correlated charts, one call that I have open right now, it's a slightly risky call, by the way. If you are following me over Twitter, I already gave the call over Twitter or in the Discord server also. But yeah, for those of you who did not see that, this is a long position that I'm taking right now on 𝗂𝑟k_USDT. Entry price is, the market price 0.4317. The coin is trading at right now. The DCA, I guess, is at around 0.3917. The DCA is basically right at the point of control. This is a point of control, yeah. So the DCA is at 0.3970. The stop loss is 0.3773. 𝗂𝑟k has a very high negative funding rate. On Bluffin, it's around 1.2%, on Bybit 1.2%, and same is the case with Binance also, which means that not only this could be a good long opportunity, because we know that the shorts, they are continuously piling up, and when the funding rate is extremely negative, that's when usually a short squeeze happens, right? But it's a slightly risky call, although the rating for the call is 9 out of 10. If we completely ignore the rest of these, variables like the funding rate and, people aping into shorts, then, the setup itself looks good. Like on the daily time frame chart, it's a very strong daily support. You can already see that. You can already see that this is strong daily support. Price has almost always reacted at this daily support. And even if you would draw the fib levels from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, or even down to this level, if you would draw it from this point, then price is already sitting at 61-65% fib level. If you would draw it from this point, then 61-65% fib levels, they are exactly in our DCA range, which means that the setup itself looks good. And on top of that, you have 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, which price just had a bounce from. We will be talking about, the importance of taking long positions. But yeah, price is right now sitting at 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, and most of these other stuff as well that I'm looking at right now, they are almost all of these good setups, they are right now sitting at 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, right? And this is something that I did mention in my last update also over my Twitter account, that if you are if you're looking for any long positions, try to look for setups that are sitting on 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, right? Anyway, so this is all about ARK. The funding rate is high negative, which means that you have a decent opportunity of collecting the funding fee. Also, it's around like 1%, 1.2% on some exchanges. So no matter what happens, you have a decent opportunity of collecting the funding fee. And a high negative funding rate basically indicates that people are aping into short positions. There are heavy short positions opening right now, and we are basically going against the tide in this situation because price is sitting on support, and we know that whenever the funding rate it's high negative, this usually results in a short squeeze, because in order to collect the funding fee, more and more people would notice this, and in order to collect the funding fee they would jump into long positions, and that's when the short squeeze would happen. It has not happened so far. Price just had a bounce from the daily support and 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, but it's going to be really interesting how ARK plays out until and unless some really big manipulation happens. This setup itself, it's looking good to me. So yeah, 0.4315, this was our entry price, and I just showed you the DC as well. For the complete details regarding the trade call, you can just go to my Twitter account and you would find all the details. I basically shared, after a long time, by the way, I shared a call over my Twitter account as well. I would be sharing another one probably as soon as the live stream ends. It really depends on how the US market opens, because we know that this is going to be the first day. Markets were closed yesterday due to President's Day. This is going to be the first New York Open for the week. So yeah, let's really see what happens during the US market open. All right, so this is the only long position that I'm going with right now. Although, looking at a few other variables like others.d, like Bitcoin dominance, I still believe that there is a decent opportunity to go long on some altcoins, especially the ones that are sitting on 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. But yeah, we are not going to take too much risk. We did a good job avoiding the risk last night, because if you guys have been following some of my recent updates over my Twitter account, you would know that just yesterday I basically shared my Twitter account that others.d, it was sitting on this trend line. If you have been following my updates, if you have been watching some of my previous live streams, you would know the importance of trend lines. We know that whenever price is bouncing off the trend line and the retracements are getting smaller, eventually price would have a break below or break towards upside. It really depends what kind of trend line it is, but eventually you would see a breakout or breakdown, and this is what exactly happened in the case of others.d also. That's why it was a good decision to avoid the long positions. And yeah, others.d, it had a break below the trend line. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, any queries related to calls, or any specific questions like any chart request, please make sure to drop it in the chat box. We would first go through the market update and then I will be taking the questions. All right. And 60 plus people are watching the live stream. Only 23 of you have liked it. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure to like the live stream. This is really important, right? Okay, let's start by taking a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is trading at 96,272. If you would only look at the Bitcoin chart, it's not really going to make any sense to you, because price right now is sitting in the middle of nowhere. And this is exactly the thing that I mentioned in my in my Bitcoin update this morning as well, that it's very important to look at USDT dominance, the correlated chart. And let me start the discussion by saying that USDT dominance, you can clearly see that it had a bounce off the trend line. For those of you who don't know, USDT dominance, it's basically negatively or inversely correlated with the Bitcoin chart. So if Bitcoin would go up, this one would go down. If this one would go up, Bitcoin would go down, right? Because they are inversely or negatively correlated with each other. Now, in the case of USDT dominance, you can see that, price had a bounce off this region back on 14th of Feb, and, price had a rejection back on 14th of Feb at this resistance area. So it's very, very important. And if you guys remember, in my Discord server, I basically shared a short position on Bitcoin. We missed that short position by $100. When I shared that short position, price was around 98K. Our entry was 98.1K. Then price went up to 98k at least 3 times, but we completely missed this short position. By the way, this one is still open at 1 or 2k. We already took the first TP and the second TP at 95k. This would have been a very, very good short position. And I remember when I was shorting Bitcoin around 98k back on Friday, people were asking me, what's the reason you are shorting Bitcoin? It's about to give a breakout towards upside. No, that's not how basically things work. I would show you what exactly is happening on the Bitcoin chart. Why exactly are we trading in the very same range for the past 2 weeks? Usually it's a very common thing. Soon after a big move happens, like we saw happen back on 3rd of February also, when this move happened, it's usually very common that after these kind of big moves, price would usually consolidate for some time. But it's been almost like 2 weeks that price has been trading in the very same range. Now it's going to be the 3rd week as well. Price has been trading in the very same range. The reason you would find out on the daily time frame chart. But first of all, let me just explain to you the complete story. The reason I was trying to short Bitcoin at 98.5k, 98.5k, 98.1k was mainly because price was hitting into this resistance area. It was not just a hit into the horizontal resistance, but at the same time we had the yearly VWAP. Sorry, we had the yearly VWAP, we had the quarterly VWAP, then we had the 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. It was I guess like 3rd or 4th rejection at 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. But more importantly, we had USDT dominance, which was acting as, which was sitting at a strong support region. So it was very important to, maybe take a short position around here. And then on top of that, price was hitting into a value area high as well. So this was, in my opinion, a very good short position. We missed it by $100, but yeah, eventually it could have played out really well. So 1 day 12 period, sorry, 4-hour quarterly VWAP, 4-hour yearly VWAP, this red line right here, then 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, and then you had this this anchored VWAP also. So this was the reason I was planning to take the short position, and the only point of control was at 95k. Now once again, if you are only looking at the Bitcoin chart, you wouldn't really be able to find out why exactly price had a bounce from this spot. So that's why it's very important, that's why I always recommend people to start looking at the correlated charts. For example, USDT dominance. In this case, you can see that USDT dominance, it hit this resistance area, it got rejected at this resistance area. And by the way, it's already sitting at just yesterday, when price on the Bitcoin chart went up to 97k, people were saying that, okay, we're gonna go to 100k, 1 or 2k once again. But I was mentioning this in my update as well, that price is bouncing off the 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, this yellow line right here, and 4-hour quarterly VWAP. So it's not gonna happen immediately. And let me explain to you, in my last update, just few hours ago, I have already mentioned that it's a good opportunity to maybe just go long on Bitcoin, because although you need to be slightly cautious, because the US market, this is going to be the first day, first New York open for the week. But you can already notice that price had a nice rejection at the at the 4-hour resistance area. We already have seen that USDT dominance has been moving in the very same range. Rejection, 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 once again another rejection. These two rejections, by the way, they were at not just at the 4-hour resistance, but actually at the MTF 200 EMA. Then once again we saw another rejection at the resistance area. So yeah, and right now price on the USDT dominance chart, it's basically sitting on this ascending trend line, which means that there is a high likelihood. And by the way, I would show you the others.d chart also, which suffered the same fate last night. USDT dominance right now, it's sitting on this, upward forming on this ascending trend line. And we know the history of trend lines. Price would eventually break below the trend line, a very impulsive break below the trend line, which means that Bitcoin has every possibility of going up to at least 98k. As soon as USDT dominance hits this support region, you can maybe, or like if you would look at the dynamic lines, as soon as USDT dominance would hit these dynamic lines, this yellow line is 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, and this black line right here is the 4-hour quarterly VWAP. As soon as we hit this support region, you can maybe start closing your long positions, or you can maybe just start de-risking your long positions. But as of now, there is a high likelihood that price on the USDT dominance chart would eventually break below this trend line, and then it would fall back into this higher time frame support. We know that this is the entry model regarding the trend lines that I've explained in so many of my live streams previously. That price would break below the trend line, then it would fall back into some higher time frame support, and then it would go back up from there, and then it would go back up and retest the trend line, bearish retest of the trend line. But all those things, they would happen later on. First of all, we need to focus on this trend line right here. It's not a very strong trend line, but you can already see that price has started to break below the trend line, and there is a very small space to move in this region, which means that price is moving in a very narrow range. This is a resistance, this is a trend line, so eventually it has to break above the resistance area, which I wouldn't really say is gonna happen immediately, because we have 4-hour resistance here. And on the daily time frame chart, by the way, this is not just a rejection at the 4-hour resistance, but on the daily time frame chart, this is basically happening at the ELD VWAP. So daily time frame chart ELD VWAP is present around here, and then you have MTF 200 EMA. Let me show you MTF 200 EMA, very beautiful thing. MTF 200 EMA is sitting around here, which basically price had a rejection from. So yeah, it's not really going to be an easy going for the USDT dominance chart, and this is exactly why Bitcoin is stuck in a range. This is what you need to understand. This is what you need to understand. And once again, high likelihood that as soon as the US market opens, we would have a move down to this region, this MTF 200, this, sorry, 1-day 12 period exponential moving average and 4-hour quarterly VWAP, because price on the USDT dominance chart, it's breaking below the trend line, which means that Bitcoin has a decent chance of going back up to at least this region, 97.5K, or even if it goes back up to 98K. But yeah, at least up to 1-day 12 period exponential moving average and the 4-hour quarterly VWAP. So let's see what happens. Our long positions are still ongoing. We have one on ARK open. I hope you opened a long position on ARK, because the setup looks really good to me. And once again, I have rated this setup at 9 out of 10, and I guess this is the first time in the whole month that I'm sharing a 9/10 setup, because the daily time frame support, it looks really good to me. So this is a short-term update on USDT dominance and on Bitcoin from my side, because a break below the trend line, fall back into higher time frame support, which could be this one or could be this one, and that's when you can start de-risking your position, de-risking your long position, and this is where you can start focusing on short positions. You see, this range is so beautiful for people who are scalping, because as soon as USDT dominance goes up to this resistance, that Bitcoin would go up, right? Because this is resistance for USDT dominance. Even on the Bitcoin chart, if you don't have any kind of support, you would know that, okay, price is going to bounce off here. Because why? Because USDT dominance is sitting at resistance area. As soon as USDT dominance goes back down to support, that even if there is no resistance apparently on the Bitcoin chart, price on the Bitcoin chart would go up, because USDT dominance is, price on the Bitcoin chart would go down at a resistance region, even if there is no resistance apparently on the chart, because USDT dominance is sitting on the support, right? So we have seen this range play out so beautifully. It got formed back on 4th of Feb, and it's been almost like 14 days that this range is playing out nicely. But the real fun on the Bitcoin chart would begin once either we break above the USDT dominance chart, because once we break above this region on USDT dominance chart, okay, and all of these regions, they would act as very strong support levels, right? You would have 1-day 12 period exponential moving average, 4-hour quarterly VWAP, and 1-day ELD VWAP, and then you would have MTF 200 EMA also, right? And I'm planning that if that happens, I would take a long position on Bitcoin as soon as USDT dominance hits this resistance area. It could be 91K on the chart, it could be 90K on the chart. It really depends on where exactly Bitcoin is when USDT dominance hits this resistance area. We already have seen that there was a nasty rejection on the USDT dominance chart when Bitcoin hit 91K almost like 2 weeks ago. And alternatively, you can start taking a short position on Bitcoin as soon as USDT dominance would fall back into this higher time frame support or this 4-hour ELD VWAP, because we know that this is going to be, price had a break above the ELD VWAP back on 1st of Feb. So as soon as price would go back down to this ELD VWAP, this is going to be the first retest of the ELD VWAP. We know that the same rules of horizontal support and resistance can be applied to these dynamic support and resistance levels also. So whenever we get the retest of ELD VWAP, this is going to be the first retest, and this would be a single best opportunity to take a long or a short position. All right. So yeah, as soon as price would go back and fall into this higher time frame support, this is where we will be taking a short position on Bitcoin. And if it goes back up to this resistance level, this is where we will be taking a long position on Bitcoin. So you don't really have to focus on the USDT dominance on the Bitcoin chart right now. Your complete focus needs to be on the USDT dominance chart. Right now it's moving in the range. If you wish to scalp this range, it's completely up to you. You can pause the screen whenever you're watching this video. You can draw these support and resistance levels on your trading view chart as well. This is the resistance. You can see that price almost always get rejected at this resistance level, and this is the support. On top of that, you can apply these dynamic lines as well. You have 1-day 12-period exponential moving average and 4-hour quarterly VWAP. You can start taking long positions on Bitcoin once this hits resistance level. You can see that when this was hitting resistance level back on 18th of Feb around 4 a.m. in the morning, 4.59%, that's when Bitcoin was hitting into this level, right? That's when Bitcoin was at 95,335. So it could have given you a decent move. It could have given you a decent risk to reward ratio. All you have to do is just take a long position. Even after this green candle, take a long position at this point, place your stop loss just below this low, and then target the next resistance level. Similar is the case with Bitcoin, USDT dominance, right? You obviously cannot trade this chart, but if you could, you would be taking a short position, placing stop loss right above this wick, and then simply just targeting the next support level. So it's quite easy in my opinion. But if you are looking to develop a swing position, then I would say that try to take a long position on Bitcoin as soon as USDT dominance hits this resistance level. It could be a really good opportunity, and try to develop a short position on Bitcoin once USDT dominance falls back into this higher time frame support, right? It could be the ELD VWAP, it could be higher time frame support. This is going to be a very good opportunity, and by the way, that's going to happen sooner or later. At some point in time, we would have a break above this range or below this range, and this is going to be a very impulsive break, right? Similar is the case with trend lines also. We know the history of trend lines, just like I told you that price eventually would fall back into this higher time frame support. So it's going to be really interesting, right? Somebody is asking about the indicators on TradingView. You wouldn't really find these indicators in the TradingView indicators tab. This is because I have created these indicators myself. These are not traditional indicators, and I'm about to very soon publish all of these indicators on TradingView. They usually have some house rules or something like that. You have to write a whole description of all of these indicators and everything. I'm currently working on that. I don't really have, I'm not being able to find time to write the whole description for the indicators. But yeah, this would be the only way going forward that you would be able to access these indicators. You would go into the indicators tab and you can search for my name, or you can simply just search for the name that I would give to these indicators, and you would be able to apply them to the charts. And I also have to make some changes. 𝗫𝗀script just launched, I guess, version 6. All of these indicators, they were created on version 5 of 𝗫𝗀script. So I have to make some changes in order for you guys to be able to use these indicators. So yeah, just give me 1 week or so. I'm planning to do that. I would write a whole description of these indicators. I would publish these indicators on TradingView, and then you would be able to access these indicators, right? But these are not traditional 1-day 12-period exponential moving average. This is not traditional quarterly or yearly VWAP. For example, with 1-day 12-period exponential moving average indicator, all of these indicators that you would find in TradingView, you would notice that there is no way that you can visualize 1-day 12-period exponential moving average on the smaller time frame chart, right? All of these indicators, they would allow you to visualize 1-day 12-period exponential moving average on the same time frame, right? It could be any period moving average, right? You would be able to visualize it on the same time frame. If it's 1 day, you would be able to visualize it on 1 day. If it's 4 hour, you would be able to visualize it in 4 hour. There is no way, there is no single indicator available in TradingView which basically allows you to visualize the higher time frame moving averages on some smaller time frame charts, right? And this is the only indicator which would allow you to do so, and it's a very powerful indicator. If you have been regularly following my updates, you would know that I'm almost always talking about 1-day 12-period exponential moving average, right? And you can know the importance of, you can basically see the importance of this indicator as well. Even on the Bitcoin chart, you would notice that this is this yellow line right here. It's 1-day 12-period exponential moving average, and all of these rejections that we have seen happen on the Bitcoin chart were basically at 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, right? This one right here, this one right here, this one right here, and this one right here. Why is it not working? Wow, just yeah. So this rejection, 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, this wick right here, once again 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, this one also, this one also, this one as well, this one as well. So all of these rejections, they're happening at 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. I cannot afford premium trading view. I can only use one indicator. Yeah, you know, this is not just 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. If you would go into the settings of this, it allows you to have multiple moving averages, right? Higher period, you know, moving averages, higher time frame moving averages. You can visualize them on the smaller time frame charts, or smaller time frame ones you can visualize on higher time frame charts. So this is an extremely useful indicator for all of you guys, and I would recommend that once I publish it, it's going to be absolutely free for all of you. You guys should start using it immediately, because if you are using a free version of TradingView, they would only allow you to apply one indicator. And if you were to use the traditional moving average indicator, it would allow you to just if you have to apply like 10 different moving averages on your chart, you would be required to use 10 different indicators. But I have included all of these important moving averages just in one indicator. There are some indicators available in TradingView that allow you to do so. I'm not claiming that this is the only indicator, but yeah, regarding visualizing the higher time frame on smaller time frame, this is the only indicator that I have created myself, which would allow you to do so. All right, so you would have to wait a little bit. I would publish the whole indicator suite, and you guys would be able to access it in TradingView. All right. Under what conditions should you use the other indicator lines? It's completely up to you. Like, it's completely up to you. Some people like to use 200 period exponential moving average. Some people like to use 21. Some people like to use 50. Some people like to use 100. Some people like to use 150. But the most popular ones are 100, 200, 50, 21, and 12. My favorite one is 1 day 12 period, and sometimes I use 200 as well. But yeah, I have given you all of these options. You can see that 4 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour, 1 day, and 3 day. And I have given you options for 12, 21, and 50, and then 100, and then 200, right? So it's completely up to you which one you would like to use. Yeah, it's just completely your choice. All right, so let's just talk about the and by the way, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the live stream, I would explain to you why exactly price has been consolidating in this range for the past 2 weeks. It's very common that after after price makes an impulsive move in one direction, it's very common for price to consolidate for some time, right? We had a very impulsive move downside back on 3rd of Feb, and it's not something uncommon for price to continue to move or continue to consolidate after an impulsive move in one direction. But the important thing is that if you guys have been paying attention to some of my previous live streams, I explained to you the function of 1 day quarterly VWAP. This black line that you are visualizing right now, let me just turn off the rest of these things. This is 1 day 12 period. Yeah, so this red line basically here is 4-hour yearly VWAP, and this black line right here is 4-hour quarterly VWAP. Let me turn off the yearly VWAP for now, because you have to pay attention to this one. And mind you, this short position that we took right here at 1 or 2K, that was mainly because of 4-hour quarterly VWAP. So you can know the importance of all of these indicators, right? Now, let's just go to the daily time frame chart, and this is something that I want to show you. This black line right here, since we are on the daily time frame chart, this black line right here is now the 1 day quarterly VWAP. Sometimes they refer to it as Q VWAP, and sometimes they simply just call it the quarterly VWAP. Now, obviously, the positioning of quarterly VWAP on the daily time frame chart or on the 4-hour time frame chart, it's going to be different, right? I do not imagine you guys to completely understand it, or if someone has a question that why exactly the positioning of quarterly VWAP, because it's quarterly VWAP in any case. If you see the positioning of EMA indicator change from one time frame to the other, it's mainly because it's mainly because the moving average indicator is taking into account the candles. It's taking into account different candles. The candle on the daily time frame chart, it's absolutely different from the candle on the 4-hour time frame chart. The traditional EMA indicator, it takes into account the closing prices of the last 200 candles or last 12 candles or last 21 candles or last 50 candles. But this is not the case with the VWAP indicator. It's simply just taking into account a specific period, right? If you're talking about a quarter, it's taking into account the average prices of the quarter and the average volume of the quarter. If you're using the yearly VWAP, it's taking into account the average prices of the year and the average volume of the year. If you are talking about the monthly VWAP indicator, it's taking into account the average volume and the average prices of the month. So that's why the VWAP indicator, it's usually so powerful, and it's given importance over the exponential moving average indicator, because with the moving average indicator, it only takes into account the average of the price. But with the VWAP indicator, it's not only taking into account the average of price, but it's also taking into account the average of volume. But the real thing is that, if you would change the if you would change the time frame, and you have EMA indicator applied on your chart, and the positioning of EMA indicator like 200 period exponential moving average or 12 period exponential moving average, from one time frame to the other time frame, it's going to be different. And that's kind of very obvious, because the EMA indicator, it's taking into account the average prices, closing prices, sorry, of the last 200 candles or 12 candle or 21 candles, whatever the period you have selected in the EMA indicator. Okay, and that's why the positioning also changes, because the closing prices change. On the daily time frame chart, each candle is representing 1 day. On the 4-hour time frame chart, each candle is representing 4 hours. That's why the positioning of the EMA indicator changes. But the important part is that most people do not understand this, that why exactly is the positioning of VWAP indicator changes. This is a question that somebody asked me, I guess 2-3 months ago, and I responded to them. It's mainly because the volume calculations on different time frames, they are changing. You can call it an error, you can call it a glitch, or whatever you would like to call it, right? But it's a very beautiful thing that, even though if you would like to call it an error, that the volume reported on different time frames, it's different. If you go by the logic, then the VWAP indicator on the 4-hour time frame chart should look absolutely same to the VWAP indicator on the daily time frame chart, because in any case, it's just simply taking into account the average of volume and the average of the price in one quarter. But the positioning is drastically different from one time frame to the other time frame. And that's mainly because the volume reported on different time frames is entirely different. And that's exactly why any kind of volume indicator that you would use, even if it's point of control, even if it's volume weighted average price, even if it's like volume profiles, you would always notice that, if you would go from one time frame to the other time frame, the positioning of that volume indicator, it's going to be entirely different. That's once again mainly because the volume is reported differently, which you can call an error or whatever you would like to call it, right? A glitch or something like that. The volume is reported differently on different time frames, which is, by the way, not a good thing, but the important part is that it actually works. Mind you, this last dump that happened back on 13th of January was the first retest of this quarterly VWAP on the daily time frame chart. So you can know the importance of these indicators once again. And mind you, once again, these are not traditional VWAP indicators. And this bounce right here, it was not at VWAP, but I have this another indicator that I created myself. This is basically the average of yearly VWAP and some other moving average. And you can see that this black line right here, it gave a very nice bounce at 91,691. So that's why all of these indicators, once again, they're really important. But coming back to the real point, the reason why this range is still in formation, the reason why we have not been able to break above 98,000 is not because of the USDT dominance chart, is not because of the 4-hour Bitcoin chart. It has not to do with 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. It has not to do with, lesser amount of volatility. It has not to do with 98.5k resistance. If you guys would go and watch, and I highly recommend doing that, because all of these live streams, they are not just about giving the daily market or the weekly market updates. I make sure to, give you guys the complete background of whatever things have happened in the past 1 week or so, right? So the main reason why we have not been able to break above 98,000 or 97,000, or why we have not been able to sustain above these levels, is mainly because of 1-day quarterly VWAP, right? If you guys would go and watch my previous live streams, for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I clearly mentioned this thing that it wouldn't be easy for price to break above this 1-day quarterly VWAP. I remember this thing that, when price was breaking below this quarterly VWAP, I was mentioning this in my live stream that once we break below this level, and mind you, this level was reclaimed by bulls back in September, right? So it's been 6 months that we are continuously trading above this level. We have been trading above this dynamic line. This was the first retest, and then we had the second retest, and then we had the third retest. And what's the most important rule about support and resistance? The first one says that the first retest is always your single best opportunity to take a long or a short position. And the second rule says that if price is hitting into a level over and over again and the retracements are getting smaller, then price is about to break above or below that level. Since in this case, we were talking about the support level, and I was clearly mentioning this in my last live stream also, that since price has been bouncing above this level and these bounces are getting weaker in comparison to previous ones. For example, look at this one right here. This bounce right here, it's weak in comparison. This bounce right here, it's weak in comparison to this one. This bounce right here is weak in comparison to this previous one, which is basically showing you that the buyers, they are no longer interested in going long at this quarterly VWAP, which usually gives you an indication that very soon price is about to break above or below that level. People claim to be using the volume analysis. People claim to be using all other forms of analysis, the breakout traders, using which they say that they are able to predict if price is about to break above or below that level. But I don't claim to do that. For me, the only tool which basically enables you to find out if price is about to break above or below a level is basically measuring the lengths of the retracement, measuring the length of the rejections, or measuring the lengths of the bounces. So in this situation, you can see that since the bounces, they were getting smaller and smaller and smaller, it was quite evident that price would eventually break below this level. And by the way, 70 plus people are watching the live stream. I would request all of you to please like the live stream and please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, so the main reason why we have not been able to break above this level is because of 98.5k, is not because of 98.5k resistance. It's mainly because of 1-day quarterly VWAP. And because it took us almost 6 months to break below this level, I clearly mentioned this thing that it would take us an equal amount of effort to break above this level, right? It took us 6 months to break below this level. It took bears 6 months to break below this dynamic line. Now it's going to take almost an equal amount of effort for bulls to break above this dynamic line, and we can already see this thing on the daily time frame chart. First rejection, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one. There have been 8 rejections constantly at this resistance level. Now the real question is that if this resistance level, if this dynamic line is so strong, then why exactly it has not been able to slash price? Why exactly it has not been able to push price down to 91k? What exactly is the reason? If Sherlock is saying that this resistance level, this dynamic line, it's a very strong resistance, very strong dynamic line, then why exactly price continues to move, or price continues to consolidate in the very same range? Why exactly price has been hitting into this level over and over and over again? Okay, the reason you cannot find out on the Bitcoin chart, because apparently on the Bitcoin chart there is not a strong or very strong support level present around here. The reason you would find out on the USDT dominance chart. Okay, and for that I would have to turn off this quarterly VWAP and I would have to turn on the yearly VWAP. So on the daily time frame chart on USDT dominance, okay, let's just wait for it to show up. Okay, so we know that both USDT dominance and Bitcoin, they are negatively or inversely correlated with each other, right? If one goes up, then the other one would go down. If one would go down, then the other one would go up. So Bitcoin, we established the fact that Bitcoin wouldn't really be able to easily break above 98,000. The reason has to do with the 1-day quarterly VWAP. But why exactly it has not been able to break below 95k? What's stopping Bitcoin from breaking below 95k? The main reason you cannot find on the Bitcoin chart but on the USDT dominance chart, because USDT dominance has been continuously trading at the 1-day yearly VWAP, right? It's the same thing, at one side we have quarterly VWAP, on the other side we have yearly VWAP, and mind you, price had a break below this yearly VWAP back on 6th of November, soon after the US election, right? So we had the first rejection, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, and this is the 10th rejection at the ELD VWAP. And this is exactly why if price on the USDT dominance chart is rejecting at ELD VWAP, it basically translates into Bitcoin bouncing from 95k. Apparently on the Bitcoin chart, there is no strong support at 95k. Similarly, on the USDT dominance chart, apparently there is no strong on the Bitcoin chart, there is apparently no strong support at 95k. But on the USDT dominance chart, there is apparently no strong, uh, you know, uh, support at this level. But it's mainly because Bitcoin has a resistance in the form of 1 day quarterly VWAP. So once again, we are not able to break above 98k because of 1 day quarterly VWAP on the Bitcoin chart. We are not able to break below 95k easily because this chart, which is negatively correlated, is sitting at a resistance area, which automatically provides support to Bitcoin at 95k. And mind you, this is not just about the ELD VWAP on the daily time frame chart. And once again, both of these charts, they are daily time frame chart, which means once again, the higher time frame you would go, more accurate these things would become. MTF 200 EMA, is another indicator that I created myself. One of my favorite indicators. You can apply it on any chart and it's going to work like a charm. It's going to work like a wonder. MTF 200 EMA, this purple line right here. It's not going to be easy for USDT dominance to break above this, this resistance level. Similarly, it's not going to be easy for bears to push price below 95k. The reason is because you have ELD VWAP, 1 day ELD VWAP, and at the same time you have MTF 200 EMA. Let's just ignore this support level or this resistance level. We're just talking about the dynamic lines, right? So in the form of MTF 200 EMA, we have a very strong dynamic line. For those of you who don't know, MTF 200 EMA is another indicator that I created myself. It took me quite some time to come up with the concept. And what this indicator is doing is that it's plotting the 200 period exponential moving average on different time frames, like the 4-hour time frame, 8-hour time frame, 12-hour, daily, 3-day, and the weekly time frame charts. And then it's simply just plotting the average of all these different moving averages in the form of one single dynamic line, and it becomes a very, very powerful indicator. It becomes a very powerful dynamic line. And this is exactly what you can see on the USDT dominance chart also, that we have a very important dynamic line. And this was a false retest of this. Okay, so yeah, this was a third retest of this dynamic line. And you can see that in the past also, this dynamic line has, absolutely beautifully played out on the USDT dominance chart. So yeah, this is the complete story. On the Bitcoin chart and on the USDT dominance chart, we would have to wait for the breakout in one direction. If USDT dominance breaks above and goes back up to this resistance level, that's when we would take a long position on the Bitcoin chart. If this goes back down to this level, right, where the 4-hour ELD VWAP on the USDT dominance chart is, that's where we will be starting to take a short position on the Bitcoin chart. If you are not comfortable trading the range, that you can completely ignore it, because price definitely is trading in this range. It has been trading in the range for quite some time for the past 2 weeks, so it's best to completely avoid it, right, if you're not used to trading the range. Let's just talk about others.d chart as well. Just yesterday I was recommending people to avoid taking any long positions. The main reason was others.d chart. Others.d, for those of you who don't know, this is the market capitalization of altcoins excluding the top 10 cryptocurrencies, right? And it was sitting on this trend line. It was having a rejection at the 4-hour quarterly VWAP and 1-day 12 period exponential moving average. We know that both of these dynamic lines, they're extremely strong. And others.d, it has been sitting under this daily resistance level. Nothing really is going to change in any of these charts for as long as USDT dominance is sitting nothing really is going to change for any of these charts for as long as others.d is sitting below this resistance level. This is the resistance level for others.d. It's a daily time frame resistance level. So once again, nothing really is going to change for any of these charts for as long as others.d, once again, it's sitting at this resistance level. And it's not just about this resistance level, but we also have the 4-hour quarterly VWAP and 1-day 12 period exponential moving average. You can see that this is a trend line that I was warning people about. Price, we know that whenever there is a trend line information, price would eventually break below. This is what exactly happened. Price had a break below the dynamic line. And mind you, on the Bitcoin dominance chart also, we had a similar kind of trend line. in the opposite direction. We know that whenever there is a trend line of this kind of information, price would break above, and we know that this trend line price would break below. We know that both of these charts, they're kind of negatively correlated with each other, which means that if one would go down, the other one would go up. And Bitcoin dominance, it has been going up, others.d, it has been going down, but we have a small support present around there. Nothing really is going to change. You can start focusing on some long positions because this is a support for others.d. But yeah, for as long as we are sitting right under this daily resistance level, it's nothing really is gonna change, right? For altcoins, for any kind of altcoin recovery, you can see that if I zoom out the chart a little bit, this is daily time frame resistance level for others.d. For any kind of recovery that you have to see in terms of altcoins, price needs to break above this daily time frame resistance. All right. So yeah, this is my opinion about the current market situation. If you guys have any specific questions, please make sure to drop it in the chat box. And yeah, please make sure to like the live stream and subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is really important. And if you are not following me over Twitter, 𝗟𝘍𝗶𝗵𝘁𝘀, this is my Twitter handle. I occasionally post calls and updates over my Twitter account also. And we still have spots open for mentorship program. If you would like to personally learn from me, we would give you a personalized discount. All you have to do is just join the Discord server, open up a support ticket. We have a quite extensive mentorship program. 150 plus people are already registered in it. They're lifetime students. We have tried to keep the cost as low and as small as possible. It's going to be based on 300 plus live lectures and videos. The course outline, once again, it's very extensive, from exponential moving averages, from VWAP, from support and resistance, to anything related to crypto, to everything related to technical analysis. It's basically going to be 300-hour plus video course, live lectures for all of you. So yeah, if you would like to personally learn from me, learn all of my trading strategies and each one of these things, you can always join the mentorship program. In order to join, you can simply just DM me over Twitter, or you can simply just join the Discord server, open up a support ticket. Make sure to hurry up because we are going to close the spots very soon, and join the mentorship program in order to learn from me personally. Price and funding rates are going down. Can we take a look at 𝗂𝘁𝗃 again? 𝗂𝘁𝗃 is going to remain stable here. Don't worry about 𝗂𝘁𝗃. It's still sitting on support. This is 1 day 12 period exponential moving average, right? 𝗂𝘁𝗃 is sitting on 1 day 12 period exponential moving average and the support, daily time frame support. And then we have, few other things as well in the form of support. And more importantly, we have a point of control around here. So yeah, no need to, put your life savings in it, obviously. But yeah, at least what you can do is you can just risk only like 2%, 3% of your capital, draw the fib levels, draw everything. If you would, then price is, in my opinion, sitting on a very strong level. This is 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. It's just because Bitcoin has gone down a little bit, and others.d also, it's sitting on this support area. So yeah, you just need to wait a little bit. Should I close bake in loss since I missed stop loss break even? We moved stop loss to break even. We took TP1 on bake, then we moved stop loss to break even on bake. I would recommend that you need to wait a little bit if you did not move stop loss to break even, because bake is sitting on 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. I have been planning to take a long position on bake. I have not done that so far. We did one yesterday. It went up almost like 6% immediately. We took TP1, then it got stopped break even after this move downside. But yeah, I would recommend waiting a little bit, because price right now is sitting at the daily time frame support, and then we have 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. Can you please talk about how you use the fixed range volume profile indicator? There are different ways that you can actually do this. But one most popular way is to look for the major price swings. For example, in this case, this is the major price swing for on the chart. This is the major swing low, and this is the major swing high. Okay, so just as you would draw the fib levels, like in order to draw the fib levels, you would find the major price swings. You can always do the same thing for the for the volume profile as well. So that's how you would draw the volume profile. This is where the point of control is. But be very careful, because the point of control is going to look different on different charts of the same pair, because the volume is reported differently for different exchanges. So it's best to always focus on the Binance chart whenever you are using something related to volume, be it the volume weighted average price like the VWAP indicator or volume profiles. Always try to use because Binance usually has the most amount of volume for any pair, and it's always best to use Binance in this regard. But yeah, in order to use volume profile, the most popular way is that you can find the major price swings and try to draw the same way as you would do with the fib levels. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, so we mainly have chart requests. Okay, let's start with how is the US market open right now? It would take some time for market to settle down a little bit. Everything is looking good right now. USDT dominance is still sitting at resistance. Nothing really has changed so far. You would have to wait like a few hours for the market to give the real reaction. If we look at the ES, it's going down a little bit. The same story applies here also. You have trend lines. Price had a break above the trend line. If you take a look at the dynamic lines, it has room to fall back down into this region. So yeah, let's see what happens. But yeah, we'd have to wait a little bit. What is the cost of mentorship program? The lifetime cost of mentorship program is $1,000, but we have been offering people a discount of $300, a straight $300 discount. And yeah, for those of you especially who would come from this live stream, we would give you a personalized discount, a special discount, but for specifically those who are watching the live stream. So you would have to, if you would open up the support ticket, you have to mention that you are coming from the live stream. So you can always DM me directly on Twitter. You can directly inbox me over Discord, or you can simply just open up a Discord support ticket in my Discord server. Just join the Discord server. The link is in the description of this video. Join the Discord server, and you can simply just mention the. You can, by the way, do the card payment also. You can do the crypto payments also. Once again, it's going to be a very good opportunity for you guys to learn all of that stuff. We are trying our best to introduce resources. It's not just going to be about the mentorship program. We have recorded videos, we have live lectures, and we have a couple of other resources like books, indicators, and everything. We would give you access to all of that. Why does market open affect crypto when crypto never closes? Anything beyond just people like trading from 8 to 5? That's mainly because of the stock market. We know that crypto market is a relatively very small market in comparison to the stock market, right? So it's obviously correlated to the stock market. So if the stocks would go down, naturally crypto would also go down. If stocks would go up, naturally crypto would also go up. And that's why we always look at the US market open or the Asian market open, because that's when you would see the most amount of volatility, right? So yeah, that's why. That's the main reason. Okay, let's start taking the chart requests. Solana. Let's first of all, by the way, I hate looking at Solana. Solana is a chart literally I hate looking at. Sol has been going down for quite some time. I guess I had a Sol chart somewhere here. Where is Sol at? Here you go, 166. Okay, so Sol has been sitting on this support, but I'm not a big fan of trading Sol right now, especially considering that the chart is usually very noisy to me. I would admit this in front of you guys. The Solana chart, it's almost always very noisy to me, right? And we can see that price, although is sitting on support, we had this deviation below the support. Price came back down to this support. So yeah, if you would like to risk a long position, you can do that. It's going to give you a good risk to reward ratio. You can place your stop loss just below this low. It's only a 6.5% stop loss. You can add a DCA somewhere around here. You can risk a long position on Solana if you would really like to do that. If you have been planning to buy Sol, or if you have been planning to risk a long position, this is your point to do that, because we had a deviation below the support level, and then price is now retesting this support for the first time. And more importantly, you have price sitting on this daily time frame support. More importantly, it's going to give you a good risk to reward ratio. So if you really like to do that, then this is your spot to go into Solana. But make sure to limit your risk and place your stop loss just below this low, just below 155.28. Yeah, you can actually risk a long position on Sol right now. It's going to be slightly risky. I hardly ever trade Solana because, I just don't like trading this coin. I don't know, because the chart always looks noisy to me, and it's not something that I'm actively trading, honestly speaking. Ethereum is good to me. ETH is good to me sometimes. It's ETH is surprisingly, ETH is a chart that I would prefer over trading Solana. So yeah, this may come as a surprise, but yeah, it's usually very noisy to me. I don't know why. Why you hate Solana, bro? It's my favorite. Uh, no matter how much you would avoid it, you would always have some kind of personal association with a some kind of personal emotional association with a coin. I have made good profits in Solana. Solana has never ever made me any kind of loss. Okay, hardly ever made me any kind of loss. But for some reason, I didn't like trading this coin. I guess the main reason is because it usually always has very impulsive kind of moves, and secondly, the chart is always very noisy to me. You can already see that. I hardly ever try to chart Solana because the chart is not super clear. Ethereum in comparison has a clear chart. It's almost like usually always reacting at support and resistance levels. You can see that this is a resistance. Price did not react at this level when it reclaimed it, then went back under this level, reclaimed as a resistance, reacted at it, once again came back up, did not react it, came back down, did not react at it, came back up, had a small reaction. So it usually has a very scammy kind of price action for me personally. Not saying the same for everyone, but yeah. Eigen chart. Okay, let's take a look at Eigen. JUP and Eigen. Let's first of all look at Jupiter. This was a short position that I had mentioned, I guess, on Jupiter. It was a very good short position. It was mainly because of the deviation. You see, that's how powerful deviation is. Deviation above the resistance, price came back under the resistance level, then came back up, reacted at this resistance level, then fell back once again. So yeah, this was a very good opportunity to take a short on Jupiter. But the thing is that Jupiter right now, it's sitting at support. If you have been holding any long position, the first bounce, the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, 10th one, there have been already 10 bounces at this support level, which means that I'm definitely not gonna take any long position on Jupiter. If price has bounced off the same level over and over and over again, that's when you should absolutely avoid taking a long position on that coin, no matter how good the support is, because once we break below, it's going to be a very impulsive break. And you can see that I already have an alert set on Jupiter here, which means that whenever price would go down, I would like to take a shot on this coin, because this is a very strong support. So once we break below, a lot many people, they are going to close their long positions. So yeah, it's going to be a good opportunity to build a short position on Jupiter. No long position on Jupiter for me, because if price has retested the level so many times, it's never really a good idea to try and trade the same level over and over again. Let's take a look at Eigen. Eigen used to be a good coin, but it has been going down, especially since Ethereum started acting up. Yeah, for Eigen, I would say that it's sitting right under this daily time frame resistance level. So any opportunity that you get to take a short position on Eigen, make sure not to miss it, right? This is a short position on Eigen. This would be your TP, maybe 4.67 risk to reward ratio. It's going to be easy. So take a screenshot of this. This is a short position that I've been looking at. You can see that I already have alert set on eigen around here. So this is something that I'm expecting, right? Something like this on eigen. People are begging for GST. What's happening with GST? GST. Oh, GST. I'm sorry, GST. GST is still at the entry price. And by the way, this is another short position that we have. Another short position that we have. I don't know, this coin has literally been trading in the same range. We took short position back on 4th of Feb and it's almost 18th of Feb and it's still at the entry price. So yeah, let's just continue to hold GST. Let's see what happens with it. It's still at the entry price. If you would like to take a short position on it, maybe it's, maybe they're going to list it as a stable coin. I don't know. So GST, continue to hold it. The short position is still on. You can still take the short position, but be prepared for a big chop because this coin has been moving in the same range for the past 12 to 13 days. We have been in the short for too long and a lot of funds. Yeah, it has been trading in the same range for the past 3 weeks, I guess. Will you take a long later today once market cools down a little bit? Yeah, I'm planning to do that. I'm planning to take a long position, but it's it's quite difficult to see which one we would go with, especially since Bitcoin dominance has been going up. This is not a good sign, right? Bitcoin dominance has been going up. If you would take a look at the 4-hour time frame chart, this is what I'm talking about, right? It's not just about the support level. On the 4-hour time frame chart, you have the dynamic lines which it's breaking above, and mainly because of this trend line right here. Okay, we should always be very careful about trend lines. So price just had a break above the trend line. This is the worst thing about trend lines. Price would just give a breakout above trend lines whenever there is one information. This is what exactly happened last night too. Price had an impulsive break above the trend line. So yeah, it's best to avoid long positions, at least right now. Price is just sitting under this 4-hour quarterly VWAP, but I don't know for how long it's gonna be sitting right under this level. We are sitting above the 1-day 12-period exponential moving average. We are sitting below the 4-hour quarterly VWAP. So it's kind of a very risky situation. On others.d chart also, we are hanging in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, it's extremely risky right now. You expecting an eigen short, but you just recently entered an eigen long, did you not? No, I don't have any eigen long position. I don't have any long position on eigen. I'm not a big fan of trading, a coin when it's trading around its all-time high or all-time low. Short position on all-time high, all-time lows is good, but taking a long at all-time lows, it's usually always very, very risky. So yeah, I always try to avoid that. Someone just texted me saying that, sorry to bother you, I'm having a conversation with you on the other account, which is getting me ready to copy your trade starting tomorrow. Would you please confirm for me if this is the case? I'm simply trying to avoid being scammed. Sorry for inconvenience. So this is how people get scammed. I would not DM you over Discord. I would not give you copy trading. I would not offer you copy trading. You don't have to give me your funds. Nothing of that sort. I'm never really going to offer. And if you ever get a DM of this sort, it's definitely a scam, right? I would never ever offer you copy trading or any such thing. So yeah, it's definitely a scam. Funding rate of ARK is starting to drop. You guys just need to wait a little bit. Sherlock has added me 15 times this past month. Yeah. The scammers, they just keep coming. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream, and please once again make sure to like the live stream and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if make sure to follow me over my Twitter account if you would like to once again join the mentorship program. you can just DM me over my Twitter account, or you can simply just DM me over Discord, or you can join the Discord server. The link you can find in the description of this video. To learn all of that stuff, we would send you the complete course outline and everything, and then you can join the Discord server, right? And then you can join the mentorship program. All right. Once again, thank you so much for joining in. Take care and have a great week ahead. Anthony is asking, would you recommend we sell our spot bags in a loss right now before we go lower? No, I would not recommend doing so, because maybe you should start DCing into your spot bags if you're holding any. And I don't know what bags you have, but maybe you should start doing DCA. And there was a nice post that I posted over my Twitter account, I guess like a week or two ago. It was about others.d. You need to find that post, and in that post I clearly mentioned how exactly bull run is gonna happen, right? It was based on logic, it was based on a weekly trend line. So yeah, you definitely need to read that post. Let me see if I can find it out for you. Yeah, no, it was, I guess I posted it like a week or two ago. You would have to find it out on my Twitter account. It was a very detailed update, right, regarding altcoins. And in that update, I had clearly mentioned, yeah, are we going to see a biggest dump on altcoins? This is the link of the post. You can read that whole post, and this would give you an idea about, what you should be doing about your bags, right? This is a very important post, and I would urge all of you to read this post. It's very important, all right? Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Take care and have a great week ahead. Thank you.